Hello everyone, this is Aegis, and it's March 22nd, Thursday, March 22nd, and we're on Tal'Darim Altar today. It's gonna be a TVP between Dignitas Select and MouzCCMana. I don't know what the CC stands for, I guess I'll find out later. But they are spawning top and bottom on the same side of the map, so this does give Mana a little bit of an advantage over here, with the Colossus able to range the high ground. So we'll see if this game gets that far. Of course, Select a very strong player. He almost never misses those snipes on those high Templar. So Mana will want to watch out for that. Mana bringing his probe out to scout. Headed looks like it's gonna be going in the wrong direction first. Select gonna be throwing up his first supply depot as well. And basically, in this matchup, most players do like to expand pretty early, try to get up to a pretty powerful army before doing any sort of timing attacks. We'll see what these two players decide to do. I've seen some players who do like to do a little bit of early game pressure, maybe with Blink Stalkers, or off of 2 barracks as a Terran player. There's the barracks coming up for Select, and Mana is going to be scouting to the cross position from his base right now. Have the gateway on the way, and Select now sending out his first SCV. It looks like it will be headed towards where Mana's probe is scouting, so they will cross paths eventually. There's the barracks finishing up, no gas on the way, so it does look like Select will be going for a very fast expansion off of that one barracks. We'll probably see him throw down a bunch of barracks afterwards. The SCV is going to cross paths with that probe. And Select throwing up another supply depot as he knows that probe is on the way. And back at home, Mana is throwing up a cybernetics core as well as mining the gas with just 2 harvesters. We'll see if this is actually a mistake, or if he's just trying to get up enough money to get the warp gate research and then going for a little bit of a mineral boost and then expanding. Looks like Select bringing his SCV out towards the front. The supply depot's lifting, and the Marine does clean up that one probe, and there's the expansion coming up for Select. Mana now has 3 guys in gas, and it looks like he will be throwing down yet another pylon. Still no signs of another expansion. He is getting out his first Zealot. There's the Warp Gate tech on the way as well. He may be saving up for that expansion right now. There's the expansion for Select. It's about halfway complete. And there's the barracks coming up for Select. Gonna be doing barracks 2 and 3. We'll see him probably get some reactors and tech labs before going for any additional tech. Mana does have a probe finally returning mining over there. There's the first stalkers out on the field, and the Nexus now on the way. Mana checking the backside just in case there are any SCVs scouting over there. I believe Select is just assuming that his opponent is expanding, as he hasn't actually seen anything. He knows where his opponent is, but he hasn't been able to do anything in terms of actual scouting. There's the SCV now retreating, and the Stalker moving towards that watchtower. The bunker is now complete, and there should be some tech labs on the way for Select. He does have those selected right now. Second orbital command on the way, and Mana's natural expansion is also halfway complete. Additional gateways on the way for Mana as well. And there's the SCV transfer and the tech lab now on the way for Select. Mana now getting his second gas up and running. He will put 3 guys in that gas, and we'll soon know what tech path he will be going for. We generally do see robotics. There it is, robotics facility now on the way for Mana. He also has a Stalker scouting to the front just in case he sees anything moving out, and there's Select actually moving out just before that Stalker moved in that direction with a ton of Marines. So that probe does see the Marines moving out, and that Stalker will know to head back home. A couple of Marines retreating as well. Looks like that Stalker may get caught. It looks like Select is going to micro forward, and that Stalker takes really heavy damage down to only 12 HP. And it's going to head towards that watchtower and take a quick break. That Stalker is going to be really close to death there. It looks like it will get away. And Select bringing a couple of those SCVs back to work. Oops, cancel on the supply depot over there. Stimpack is now on the way for Select, and over here Mana is getting his first observer out in the field. It's interesting to see that he hasn't really made any sort of units. He does have a single sentry and a zealot working away on those destructible rocks, so he may be looking to clear those up and take a relatively quicker expansion. The Marines watching the top of that ramp. One Marine headed down to the third base area, just checking for any sort of proxy pylons, just in case. Mana trying to finish off these rocks, only about halfway complete with that right now. A Colossus tech is on the way for Mana. Does have the +1 ground armor on the way as well. Gateways 4 and 5 also on the way for Mana, warping in a couple additional zealots just in case. And there's the reactors on the way as well. Select getting up barracks 4 and 5. And he's got a single mule saved up over here. Has a Marine checking this ramp over here just in case a large Protoss army decides to swing around that side, and destructible rocks finally getting close to falling. Additional pylons on the way for Mana. He really doesn't want to get supply blocked over there. First Colossus will be hitting the field real soon, and Select will want to have Medivacs real soon, so he does switch over on the factory to be able to get that reactor. Medivacs now on the way. And Mana taking a third expansion very quickly at the 9-minute and 30-second mark, so he will have a booming economy. But the question is, if Select decides to attack, this could be trouble, especially because he doesn't have too many sentries out in the field. I see about 2. We can take a look at the unit counter tab, and there are 2 sentries, and it does look like Select's army is quite a bit larger, but Mana's army will soon become more powerful. A Stimpack going down on the Marines and Marauders, trying to pick off the Stalkers, and it looks like, oh no, Select missing that concussive shells upgrade early on, so he's only now getting it. And the combat shield is also on the way. He may try to hit a timing with these Medivacs, as well as the combat shield and the concussive shells finishing up at the same time, still maintaining those 2 bunkers just in case there's a really big attack up at the front. Mana moving his units over to the left side just in case there's a drop, so he's definitely reading Selects very well right now. This drop is headed across the field right now, and there's a transfer of probes, so Mana should be ready for this. The Stalkers are in position, but his units are out of position to defend the main, but it does look like Select will not risk that. He does have a factory floating towards Select's natural expansion, so he will see what's going on over there. More units coming out for Select. He's got a Medivac kind of doing its own thing. It's completely empty, and there's the unload from the 2 Medivacs, perhaps getting ready for some straight-up aggression. Select will be joining his units up, maybe going at the natural expansion and the third base at the same time. Mana is going to be forced to split up his army a little bit. Select positioning himself to do some damage over here from the low ground as well. There's a bunch of Marauders and Marines. Medivac's going to be doing the healing action, and here comes Select's other small army. He's going to be pushing into the third base, going to try to do a little bit of damage there, and there's the warp in from Mana. It looks like there's the load up trying to take down that Medivac, and it does go down to completely full. But over here, Select continuing to do some damage. Looks like he may be able to take down this Nexus if he focus fires. Looks like the Stimpack going down once again, cleaning up a couple of these Stalkers, and he will lift and fly away. Another Marine guarding the third base over here. Select is behind economically though, because he only has his third command center now on the way, so no third orbital as of yet. Mana did take a little bit of damage from that two-pronged attack, but not enough for this game to turn in favor of Select. There's the factory floating away. I know Select has the larger army or larger supply count, but definitely Mana's army is much more powerful. He has two Colossus or three Colossus out in the field. I'm not sure if one was taken out over there. There's the third Colossus over here for Mana. He's spreading his units out pretty well. He's got a little group over here to deal with any sort of drops coming up in from this side of the base, as well as the Colossus in position. He has the pylon in order to warp in just in case, and over here the two medevacs for Select getting ready to pounce once again. Storm also on the way for Mana, so he's going to have a really powerful army, especially against what Select is doing right now. Cannons also coming up for Mana, just to bolster his defenses a little bit. There's the few stalkers going to be picking away at that factory. Looks like the factory will get away. And Select moving his units into the center, a little careless with these air units just coming to the center without the bio support underneath. There's the stim going down on a couple of the units, just going to be moving forward to take a look. And Mana's army is starting to get more and more powerful. Once this joins all together, you'll see exactly how strong it is. A couple of Templar now warped in, and they do have energy for Storm, so I think Select is getting up Ghosts. Fourth base now on the way for Select. Mana actually not looking to take a fourth base anytime soon. More photon cannons on the way for Mana. His main army is now parked outside of his three bases, perhaps getting ready for a relatively large attack. He does have the +2 ground weapons on the way as well. And it looks like Mana will take the watchtower over here. He does have a supply, he does have an observer checking out everything over here. Select getting ready to max out. He does have a really large Marine Marauder ball over here. He still has those two medevacs up at the north side. Just in case Mana gets too close, he will be able to do a little bit of damage. Scan going down to see exactly what's going on. He sees the unit composition. He sees that it's mostly Zealots. So Mana will want to possibly trade those Zealots in for a little bit more powerful units real soon. And Select now definitely has the economic advantage with that fourth base finishing up. We'll have many mules to drop. There are Ghosts now out in the field as well. So Select definitely now achieving the upper hand right now. However, Mana could turn the tide with some really good storms. So we'll see if that happens in this game. Select repositioning to the bottom side. He's throwing down additional command centers right now. He will have plenty of mule to go around it, and Select is forced to float his fourth command center. Looks like it will get away, just barely though. It does have 600 HP left. Looks like it's not burning, so it's okay to not drop a mule. Select getting ready for the attack at his third base. He also has the couple of units over here. It looks like it was dropped off for something. Totally didn't see that. Looks like the Vikings positioning them over here on the high ground. Force fields going down, EMPs as well, trying to hit those Templar. Still no hits on the Templar. Yeah, I don't know if Select knows that the Templar are out on the field, and there's the Storm. Although it's not really hitting Select's forces here. Another Storm going down, but those Ghosts are quite good at what they do. Snipes going down on the Templar, only one left, and it does not have enough for Storm. And the Vikings on the high ground doing work on those Colossus. Only one Colossus remains. Select at 2-2 and Mana at 2-2. A little bit of a counterattack from Select. Looks like he will be able to take down this Nexus. Mana scrambling units over there, but it looks like those Marauders are just too quick at doing what they do best. Storm going down, trying to clean up these bio units, and these charge lots trying to get in there as well. Another Storm goes down, but completely missing. And it looks like both players have evened up at 167 food. A Zealot preventing this command center from landing, so Select does not yet have a fourth base. Mana doing a very nice job of delaying that. He does have a fourth of his own, not quite yet mining there yet. So he will be getting a transfer of probes out there right now. A couple of stalkers out and about the field. 2 medevacs full of units getting ready to drop once again. Select also moving towards and through the center. Zealots getting ready to surround from the backside as well. And a scan going down to see exactly what the positioning is. And the Zealots all charging in by themselves. There are no force fields to hold this army back. But it does look like Mana smartly backs that up. Where are those 2 medevacs gone? Where have they gone? I guess I don't see them. But Select does have a very powerful army now. He will be getting those upgrades soon. He does have the +3 finishing up as well. So he's going to have a full-blown 3-3 army. EMP is going down. And it looks like Mana trying to engage over here once again. The Archons kind of getting stuck in the back. A single medevac flying away. And it looks like Mana is getting the worst of the exchange so far. The Ghosts are cloaked and doing plenty of damage, and Mana's army does fall. Mana down to 117 supply, doing a little bit of long distance mining there, finally getting his 3rd base back up and running. Mana also has his 4th base up, not quite mining the gas there yet, which he does need to do soon, as Protoss is very gas dependent. The medevacs need to take a rest here and try to heal up these units. Another load up of units going to be headed across the field, perhaps trying to scout or do some damage to the existing bases. A couple of Zealots making sure that no 5th base is on the way. Select does have plenty of orbital commands right now. He's mining out his 3rd base, so he will be looking for a 5th base real soon. Mana trying to build back up his army. Still not really many Colossus in this mix right now. He's mainly relying on those Templar, as his main is completely dry of minerals. His natural's running out, so he needs to use these cheaper units. But what he really does need is those Colossus, as Select does not really have any Vikings out in the field right now. Warp Prism speed on the way right now. Is that the Warp Prism speed? No, let me go check it out. Where's that robotics bay? Never mind, that's the observer speed. He doesn't really have that many observers out in the field, so I'm not too sure why he's getting that stim pack going down on a couple of those units. Very nice use, nice selective use of those stim packs, making sure that he doesn't drain his medevacs all of energy at the same time. Select also has these ghosts out in the field getting ready to pounce just in case Mana gets too out of position. He has plenty of Templar out in the field. It does look like there's a drop headed at that 4th base, and the Marauders again taking down that Nexus very quickly. Zealots warping and trying to take it down, but it looks like there's just a few HP left of dropping those Marauders and targeting down that Nexus, and Mana is down to only 3 bases. Select also pushing at the front, trying to get Mana out of position as much as possible. And Mana's forces are clumped together once again. If those ghosts could hit a couple of good EMPs, this army would evaporate. And Mana now moving forward, he knows he needs to do at least some damage, or else this game will become run away for Select. Select already banking 2k, and is now taking his 5th base. A couple of Marines and Marauders cleaning up those Zealots that were there earlier. Couple of medevacs hanging out inside of Mana's base. Mana looks like he's not too worried about that, just trying to do some damage here. And the ghosts up at the front, we'll see if Mana is able to take him out. Select needs to get those EMPs off. He does hit one on one of the Archons, and a couple of units do get completely roasted. Select still hanging at 198 food. Both players wary of engaging each other. Both players do have I think most of the upgrades. I selected the Templar earlier, Colossus, yeah, 3 upgrades. And here comes the major engagement. The Zealots charging into battle. There are observers, so those ghosts get ripped to shreds by those Zealots. But it looks like Mana's food count just falling very rapidly in comparison to Select's forces, especially fighting on this ramp where the Zealots cannot get too much surface area. And there's the repair on that planetary fortress. I don't know if this is the right choice here, especially with the planetary fortress taking out the shields, at least, of a couple of those Zealots. And Select trying to surround from the backside, losing a ton of SCVs in that engagement, falling to 170 some food. Mana repositioning himself, bringing additional reinforcements across the field, mostly Zealots as of this point, and here comes the big engagement we've been looking for, and the Stalkers blinking in, taking out a bunch of Medivacs, the Colossus trying to do the work, and the Zealots charging in from the north side. Select trying to pick off that Colossus, but not quite being able to do it. The Zealots cleaning up a bunch of Marauders here and there, but a storm going down as well, but it looks like Mana's forces just being torn to shreds by those Marauders. However, Mana has secured the food lead. I guess it's because of his Warpins back at home. He's still long distance mining from this location. Archons being warped in. 4 Archons. Mana at 133 food. Select with the slightly larger army, and Select continuously drops. He just keeps taking out these Nexi one after another. Mana is really running dry at his third base. His second base is already gone dry. So Mana is going to be moving forward with a bunch of those Templar. And it looks like a couple of Vikings getting caught off guard. And Select retreating back to home. He knows he has plenty of gas to be able to continue this game. All he has to do is keep hitting those mules down. He has a ton of mules now at this 5th base. Going to be mining that out very quickly. A bunch of units spread out over here for Select. It looks like he may be headed for that 4th base once again. And if he could even force a cancel on this Nexus, this is going to be huge for Mana, for a Select. It looks like that Nexus actually just simply falls, while Mana tries to get all of his units over here, and Select is going to easily retreat back home. He also has this really big army getting ready to hit the 3rd base, and the entire Protoss army is just completely out of position. And there's nothing Mana is going to be able to do about this army destroying this 3rd base. And that Nexus is going to fall so quickly with all of the bio units over here. The probes getting pulled off the line, trying to run away. Mana down to 129 food. His army is going to be coming from the backside, trying to get a surround on the Terran forces. But it looks like Select will be securing the high ground, just making sure that he engages this as if he was defending his base. Oh, huge EMP on all of the Templar. Archons being morphed right now. The Colossus getting into the mix, trying to roast away this bio army. The Archons doing work, but is it enough? The Ghost trying to get into the mix as well. Looks like Mana will take this army down. The Ghost going to be cloaking and trying to run away. One Ghost does survive with 3 kills and only 21 HP. He's going to be the brave one. He's chasing after those Colossus. He thinks he can do it, but I don't think Select thinks he can do it. Select going to be transferring a couple of SCVs out of here. That refinery is almost dry. He needs to grab the gas down here as well. More mules being dropped over here, sustaining his income. And Mana is down to 0 mining bases. He only has a couple of long-distance mining locations, while Select still has 2 mining bases over here. He only just got this planetary fortress back up and running. He still has this location to drop all his mules at. He has plenty of orbitals to be able to maintain his income. While Mana is just going to be sitting out here. He's trying to do some damage with the units that he does have. He has these Colossus and the Archons moving forward. The stim pack being used to run away one of those Marines, making sure that every unit stays alive for as long as possible. A couple of units up here for Select. They're going to be brave souls trying to hold down the fort while the remainder of these bio forces return. Looks like the Marine and the Marauder trying to do a little bit of damage over here. The Colossus and the Archon's going to be moving in here, but Select going to lift that off immediately. And because there's not too many Stalkers here, that Orbital Commando should survive. Does look like there's a little bit of an attack over here by Select. Select is actually not looking to go save his command center immediately. He's just going to camp outside, making sure that he gets the perfect engagement. And it looks like Mana is going to be forced to fight with the remainder of his forces here. The Colossus on the high ground. A couple of snipes going down, cleaning up the Templar. GG out of Mana. He knows he doesn't have the forces remaining to be able to take down Select. And Select taking it in a really epic PvT battle on Tal'Darim Altar. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the second to last day in the series. And hopefully I'll bring you more interesting games. See you guys later.